Sure. So welcome back, everybody. I'm very happy that you stayed for this last part, because I think it's really going to be as interesting as the others. This is a section that we, together with the organizers, thought will be showing how the programs in various names for Romani students help them, not only professionally, but also in their personal life. So we invited with us 6 of our alumni. We have 5 here and 1 online. I will not introduce them because we agreed to introduce, for them to introduce themselves. I can only say that they do come from Spain, Hungary, Slovakia, Sweden, Hungary, and we have Phiren online, who is from Kosovo. And we would like to start by asking them to say very briefly a little bit about themselves, what they do, and anything else that they want to add that would give you an impression of who they are. I would like to maybe start from here. Ismael, would you like to?
It's okay. It's on.
You can just start.
So, hello everyone, it's a pleasure for me to be here and to be among you. I'm also alumna of the program, and I'm Ismael Cortes, currently associate professor at the UNESCO Institute of Philosophy, and I'm also senior advisor currently in the European Parliament, working for the left, and I've been former member of the Spanish Parliament. I've been doing research in the last 10 years on political and cultural rights of the Roma, and I'm a collaborator of the wide European Roma civil society and other movements as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Daroczi. I'm from Hungary, and I've never been invited for something like that. But not yet. But I work in the civil society. I'm, let's say, a Roma youth worker, a Roma feminist youth intersectional activist. Yeah, that's it.
Hello, diverse people of Europe. My name is Lakatos, and I'm from Slovakia. Currently, I'm serving as the Chief State Counsellor of the Slovak government, especially for the Office of Plenipotentionary for Roma communities. I'm also an assistant professor at Slovak Medical University in Bratislava, and newly an active politician.
Hello, everybody. I don't know. I don't think this works.
It doesn't work.
Hello. So nice to meet you. Thank you very much for having me. I will have a bit different introduction. I will start by saying I remember representing Pusa, one of my clients, 80 years old, coming from Romania. She was badly injured in a terror attack in Stockholm 2017. Although mostly my clients are non-Roma, the bigger impression for me is when I'm getting to represent my people. And she was a strong Roma woman, which I remember her word will always stay with me, because when she had the first client meeting with me, she said, "Oh, tuyan Romani chai, hemadukatka," which means in Romanes, "Oh, a Romani girl, an attorney." Thank God for that. My grandchildren had someone to look up to now. I stop a moment from my professional suits, which I always have when I have class meeting, and reflect on my identity. For her, I was not just a lawyer. For her, I was her people, she can reflect on her own identity, and that made her being more comfortable with me. My name is Sunita Memetovic. I am a lawyer from Sweden. I'm a member of the Swedish Bar Association. I have a law degree from Uppsala University. I also have LLM in human rights from CU. I was part of the RGPP current 2019-2020.
Hey everyone, I'm happy to be here with you today. I'm Ignácz from Hungary, and actually I started at the Roma English language program in 2016 or 14 maybe, and then I went to RGPP. Anyways, what I'm doing is I became a freelance trainer because before I was working a lot with local Hungarian Roma organizations, NGOs, and what else I do? I publish articles in Hungarian and English and stuff like that.
And last but not least, we have Freedom Online.
I think he couldn't join. I
He
received
couldn't.
He's in the Kosovo parliament and he has some other commitments.
Maybe he'll join us
unfortunately.
later. Well, in this case, we have invited you here because you do have wonderful careers. You work in various walks of professional fields. And we wanted to ask you whether the program, the preparatory program that you have attended at the CU has played a role in you being in this stage of your lives and professionally, in particularly. Judit, if you don't mind, we'll go backwards.
Second, people online are saying that they don't hear as well.
Oh, so I'll speak
So
a
we
bit
just
closer
got
to the
a
mic.
message.
I
Sure.
noticed that because that doesn't work.
But maybe
Can we
it's
check?
also the Sunita
Small
mic.
microphone.
This is needed for something.
Maybe
Can we
Maybe
check?
turn on this as well.
Two mics.
Can we check?
Anyway, so answering your question, it definitely did contribute to where I am right now. Like, as I said, I started at the Roma English language program, a program that actually stopped existing, or if I use a more active verb, it got closed down. And so the aim of that program was to learn English. And it was a very useful and helpful program because, you know, before, like in the panel discussions, there were discussions about access to education, access to knowledge and information. And I think it's what came to my mind is that sometimes that's a privilege for most of us or many of us accessing knowledge, information, and education. And when it comes to the English language, because of course, thanks to colonization, it's a super crucial skill to have to be able to speak English. And so REP, the Roma English language program, that's what, you know, it gave to me. Because when it comes to learning languages in this capitalized world, is you know, it got monopolized in a way that if you don't have money, you cannot really afford the language course. And REP, you know, gave an opportunity where I could learn English from really almost the beginning or very basic knowledge I had till the end when I actually passed TOEFL, which was I was super anxious, and I don't like these exams because I have an opinion about them, but maybe later I can share it. So anyway, and then I started in RGPP like after that. And of course we cannot compare the two because they are different programs, but if it comes to access to education, for me, that was more useful and more important because RGPP already has a criteria to already be able to speak English, right? And that's kind of excludes a lot of Roma people, to be honest, because that's, you know, it's a privilege to be able to learn and speak English, because when it comes to at least the Hungarian education system, language teaching is like I don't know what verb, what adjective to use, but it's not really. So I don't know if I answered the question, but I give the space.
Thank you. I don't know, do they still have problem online to hear us? No one, you don't know. But if someone says something, please let me know. Well, you know, to answer this question, you can answer this question in so many, you have different perspective on this question. And I will touch up on one, and my colleagues will also talk about it, and maybe we can have some more discussion. But the program, I just want to say something. What is the program? Why is the program so important? That's something when I was asked to be part of this, I was thinking much about that. And when I sum up this program and why it is important is this program, and we know that by facts, creates Roma academics and Roma leaders who are capable of producing research. In the long run, this means that we are building our own narrative. So we have stopped letting other people telling the story about us, and we are now part of their knowledge production. And this is why this program is so important.
I mean, definitely the program like giantly and super strongly impacted my career path and like my whole professional direction in back that time. Yeah, I'm trying.
Louder.
So definitely the program super strongly impacted my future career path and my professional direction, because back that time in 2020 when I was considering to apply to the program, I was finishing my bachelor studies in nursing science. So that time I was like super passionate about doing nursing, doing medicine, taking care of people. I was also doing my specialization in neonatology. But then I like spending 7 years in clinical practice, because I studied healthcare for 7 years, secondary medical school, then nursing science. I found out that the system in Slovak medical system is super problematic. In one hand, I can learn the new procedures. I can learn at the university how to use the newest technologies. But simply when I entering the system, I'm not able to do it because I don't have this technology. I don't have my colleagues like ready to use these new technologies. And simply it's impossible to provide the gain knowledge in a healthcare system. So that was the point when I met with Tutor from Roma Education Fund in Slovakia, who informed me that CU has something like this. And I said, okay, they have a tutoring classes in public policy. Hello, Simona. So I decided that it would be nice if I could once in a life have an opportunity to do something to impact the system. So that time I was like super interested about doing health policy, what I'm doing till nowadays in the government office. But then I started to specialize on health promotion of Roma marginalized communities. And once again, thank you, Simona, for having classes with you. It was something which super impacted my life, and I found out that that public policy making is something which will stay with me for entire my life. And another thing is, thank you, Peter, thank you, Vicky, thank you, Katica, for learning me English. Giant thing, because today we were talking about the giant two pillars of CU and RGP, which is the academic side and also the leadership, the development of leaders. You know, and it goes hand in hand, because RGP is strongly impacting its young enrolled individuals in both manners. And when you are growing as an academic person, then you are growing at the same time as a leader, which means you are learning how to cooperate, how to gain contacts, how to get visible in Europe. And that's what simply due to this program I received. I gained a visibility in Europe. I gained opportunities to attend several meetings around Europe. and also around the globe. And I had plenty of meetings, discussions with youngsters, had the opportunity to motivate them that, everybody can enter this program, everybody can finish it and do something for our common society. So yeah, the program has giant impact, and I'm super cautious that it has a giant future as well.
Definitely, it has impacted my life as well. And I was wondering whether I can separate the personal from the professional. And in my case, I don't think it's possible. Because I have been lucky enough for many years. I think I finished RGPT, which we called RAP, more than 10 years ago. 2011. Thank you, Simona. And since then, so most of my friendship group comes from this community. So I do agree, and we have discussed before that academic and leadership skills are very important, but for me personally, the community has been the most important. Maybe just shortly, I do come from a family, but I never lived in the community, whatever that means. And CU was the first place where I spent 24 hours a day for 2 years with Roma from all around Europe. So I think I developed a very specific identity, which we all share, of this very diverse, very international, very accepting, very critical global Roma identity, or at least European Roma identity. And that has impacted my work, the way I work with the young people, because I work for an international Roma youth organization. Yeah, so my life and my work as well. Maybe shortly for now. Thank you.
So what the Roma program gave me, or what does it mean to me? I very much agree with what Angela said at the beginning, that in general, education doesn't have a direct relation with the labor market. Somehow it does, but it is not a direct relation, neither with economic, nor with politics. Yeah. So what education gives a person is a way, is a vision, a way of thinking. Yeah. In this sense, to me, the Roma program wasn't that much about access to higher education, but it was the access to Roma network. Yeah, highly educated Roma across Europe, and this is a source of power. Yeah. So it was a very empowering experience to me and also to my Roma fellows. So this is the first thing. The second is the Roma program is a hub for critical thinking, Roma critical thinking, which is beyond research. Research, of course, is part of thinking, but the Roma thinking, yeah, the Roma community, yeah, the community of Roma thinkers is beyond research, because it's in every conversation that I have with my Roma fellows, either in Brussels, Madrid, Bucharest, Budapest, or today here in Vienna. Then what means to me the Roma program is very clear that there is a relation between power and knowledge production, and knowledge production and policy making, and how in the end public institutions and public administrations are underpinned by systems of knowledge. And CU was a lot about that, at least in my experience. Yeah. Any policy, also economic policies, are underpinned by systems of knowledge. And this emancipation from the point of view of critical thinking is essentially what the gave me in a very unique and specific way. And I've been in many different knowledge institutions, think tanks, universities around the world. Also I teach and research, I did my PhD, but the unique specificity of the Roma program is, I would say, the formation of critical thinkers. If you allow me, the formation of a Roma intellectual elite.
Thank you to the panelists. I think it is important to stress not only that, as we know, the program was important in your development, but that the CEU students and staff benefited greatly from having you in our midst. And you have opened conversations, important conversations, and you brought a new perspective on policies that are very important to the rest of the students. I can also tell you that one of the reasons why I was invited is that because I was one of the early tutors of the Roma program. I was tutoring legal studies, I think in the second cohort, if I'm not mistaken. I was a young lawyer married to a Hungarian. I thought I understand minority rights, minority education. I was pretty cocky until I met the first mentees, and it was only then that I understood that really minority education is very nuanced, that being a Hungarian and being a Romani in Romania is different. So I learned a lot, and that impacted my own path. I went into education policy, and that was very valuable perspective that changed my own professional career, and I'm sure that of many other of the CEU students. We would like now to take questions from the public. So I am opening the floor, both online and in the room.
Okay.
Please.
That's very nice.
Please.
So I would like to ask, firstly, I'm happy to see so many successful stories and so many colleagues here from different generations. I would like to ask maybe this path after the CEU, the path to the towards the employment, like the challenges that you faced, like how did you overcome the challenges, and are you still having these kind of challenges in your everyday life? Some of you has more experience, some less. So I would like to hear from people who are more experienced.
Maybe I will start. Now that you mentioned it, I now just remember it was not easy for me, at least, because when I finished CEU after RAP or RGPP, I got into the one-year master in gender studies. And I was really happy. I really enjoyed my whole year. After that, I was not very sure enough that this was the best choice to make, because in terms of critical thinking and having becoming a real academic feminist was a good feeling, but the labor market might not. So of course I didn't start going into a paying job right away. I remember that I have a fellowship at TRRC, and then I had the chance with the help or support of some friends before the RGPP or RAP students, and brought to attention that there was at that time a fellowship in the Congress of the United States, the Lakatos Fellowship, which was also open for one Roma applicant. So I had the chance to spend 4 months in the United States Congress, through which I learned that I really don't want to be involved in politics. So it was useful in a way. But then it took me, I think, more than half a year to finally find a job which was not, which was interesting or good enough for me. So I started working in a human rights and minority rights organization, and from that on, it was just
Opening.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
I can also answer to this question because I have, for me, it's a bit different. Before being part of the RGPP, I was already a successful lawyer in Sweden.
So you had
So I had already, I was already attorney. So I was already completing my bar license, which means I could defend the cases in criminal cases. But what happened with the program and also during my LLM in the US was that my English skills I lacked in that front. I wanted to know more, to use the English to be able in future to also do something international with my career. And I can actually share a fun story with some of my friends sitting here can relate to. When I was part of the RGPP program 2019 and 2020, I always, when I had problems to express my thoughts, more intellectual, deep conversation, I always said, how smart I sound in Swedish. Because that was my own way of, to defend myself because I didn't have the knowledge to say those words in English. But after, and I have to totally agree with you, the tutors and the English teachers on the program is fantastic. You are doing a great job. Thank you very much for all of it. Also completing my LLM studies at CU, I can now they say, I'm smart even in English.
I don't want to see the party.
I can just maybe very shortly. I mean, that the ending of the program was super positive in terms of starting my career. So before I defended my final thesis, I was already contracted at the government office because they already knew that there is a young Roma who absolvated the tutoring classes in public policy, and the government office was obliged to prepare the new strategic framework for Roma integration. In the name of Slovakia. So they hired me as a junior health policy analyst, and then I somehow at that time, and I guess still I'm the youngest state official in the country. So it was very, very interesting to receive this opportunity, even just finishing the RGPP. So it has a giant impact in my home country. But later on, when I started to really work with the resorts, with Ministry of Health, very often at the very first meetings, like the Minister of Delegacy started to talk to me in English because they thought that I'm some foreigner expert who's joining the team of the process. So like almost every single meeting started like this. And later then I started also my lecturing or teaching at the university. Also some negative things was the very beginning, the receptionist told that I'm a cleaner. So when I was asking for the key to have my class, then just say that after I finished the cleaning, I still got the key. So things like this. But the beginning was super cool. But I returned the key.
And you told that you cleaned the room.
Yeah.
The impact on the career of the program.
Yeah, this is the main.
Basically, if I go into well, Roma program gives a lot of skills. Yeah, to do research, writing, public speaking, and you can see that in all of the alumni. Yeah, there is a difference between someone who went through the program and the others, I would say. Yeah. There are differences, no better, but there are differences. Yeah, because there is a style. Yeah, there is a style how to argue, how to debate. No better or worse, but it is like a mark of the house. Yeah, I would say. But it's still the Roma community that went through the program is still very fragile, even if some of them are successful. Yeah, I have seen even in myself, we have to restart all the time and to fight double the rest of society. So, of course, it gives you, I would say, even some degree of authority. Yeah, if you go through the program, you do MA, PhD, and so on, you gain expertise, and expertise it is very much valuable also in the job market. But I also want to be honest among us. Yeah, so the kind of the economic fragility among the Roma community is still there. So I think there is a space to improve. Yeah, and also how to think the development and the bridge between academia, labor market, and the wider impact, not only in the job market, but in politics, in public opinion, in the cultural and the public sphere. You know, because also, to be very frank, being a bunch of years in politics, if I look around, they are not really so highly qualified. Yeah, non-Roma fellows, let's say. But they are there, yeah, occupying high positions of power, of responsibility, and so on. And I have seen so many Roma highly qualified, yeah, well-educated, that still can do more and can provide more to the society. So there is a gap.
Thank you very much.
I can maybe follow up. I can maybe follow up. I will students still a lot of minutes. So we were also talking about the Roma representation. I mean, in policy making, decision making, or in politics in general. I mean, for a very long time, I think like the generation before us is super okay being like representative of Roma community in elected or appointed positions. So they're happy to be there, to be a representative. But as my colleague very frankly said, like very often these people are the representative without any responsiveness, which means without any competencies. So while the generation before us was happy to be inside of the meeting room where the policy was making, nowadays my generation won't be inside of the team who's preparing the program of the work meeting. So this is the giant difference. What nowadays I think the generation before us and our generation want to do in policy making, in shaping our common European future.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the answers. We can take another one. Oh, there we are. I think we'll go in the back first and then in the front. Please go ahead.
Thank you for your insight and thank you for sharing with us your experience. I remember in LGBT there are a lot of opportunities and courses to play, trainings including. Is there something that you wish to have done and you couldn't? I think it's good to reflect on that because we have also here current LGBT cohort, and I think we will learn a lot by hearing your experiences.
Something you wanted but you couldn't.
I mean, my current, we have problem. We were COVID hit the world during our time. So in March, we got the information that that we cannot leave the door. We had all the classes online. And we couldn't go to see you anymore. So that was a totally new situation for us, and which made us like. But it's just to add on what you already saying, Maria. I mean, what is good with the program, and I think my colleague already touched on that, is that the identity, like my identity, I felt like in Sweden I was very alone. I was the special kid. I was something different. Oh, and you are Roma, and you are so successful. Now, when I came to RGBP, everyone was really good in different things, no? So it was my identity became even stronger, and you talked about it before. And I think which made us doing stuff to sharing our identity even more, like all the Roma traditions, Judit. We were celebrating Judit, and we were getting together and made a big party, and and we had other the Roma language. We did a video on the Roma on the language day, which is in November. So that's something you can also that was so interesting because then we made a video and we did interviews and we said the one sentence in Romanes and we put that together and it was spread in whole Europe. So we made different activities all the time to strengthen our identity even more, and that made us come even closer together. That's some examples.
I was just thinking maybe, to participate more in community events, like having more fun, because we were at least mine or we were so anxious all the time. We had so much pressure all the time. Like, that I think maybe we could just chill a bit more. Because we are there, maybe it's related to this imposter syndrome that we kind of share. That like we always have to meet up the expectations. We have to do better. We really have to do like 200%, not 100. Like we always have to, live up these expectations, and then we overthink a lot of stuff. So maybe if I were in RGBP, I would be more chill. I was chill, but I could.
Yeah, maybe jump on this question. Also, as an alumni, I would say that after Sunita, our generation, Miki, me, and Julie, we came in Budapest during the COVID, and we came in the new country and stayed in the rooms 14 days first quarantine. And we just spoke today how back then I wasn't aware back then what kind of support we had through the LGBTQ team, Angela, Vicky, Maria, coordinator, and others. Thank you. Now I'm aware that we had the feeling that we are chosen ones, and we have even today group that is very active, Facebook group, the chosen ones, chosen 11. Like we came in Budapest during the worst period in Europe, and we felt like we are chosen to be there. It's our mission, and we just made a joke how it wasn't like a question to quit or something. Okay, we are there to do our things. COVID is happening out, but. So I would say now from this perspective, 3 years later, I would say I'm very grateful to feel this kind of very protected to all of you from all of your sides. And it was really challenging time to keep people from all around the Europe and to bring us firstly. So thank you. I would say to be aware of potential and of the support that you have to the new generation.
Angela and RSP team.
Thank you. We'll take a question here and then here, please.
So you mentioned that the RGPP as a way to higher education, and the education itself equips you with skills to fight many things. But my question is about fighting in the everyday life, the resistance in the everyday. There is a world outside of CU, and it's pretty much different than the CU bubble. Has it ever happened to you sometimes to have situations when your education and eloquence and capability to respond to come so handy to respond to racism like very well, but sometimes to have the moment of facing the racism outside in the world and say, and what are we doing? Like to feel insecure about yourself, and this moment of reality check in the face, and like, oh, these narratives are so big, to lose motivation or something like that.
Yeah, if I can, you hear me. Yeah, I clearly remember. It was last summer. I won the prize Young European of the Year 2023. That day when I received the information that I'm the Young European of 2023, I went to Lidl. I know this grocery store to shop something for the evening. And security worker was like whole time like behind me and like looking at me, and the feeling inside you that you want this big prize and somebody is watching you if you are not stealing I don't know, a bread or something. So how our society is, how to tell, like and we are experiencing it like daily, and it shouldn't be that like a direct dialect racism or like it's not. I never had this kind of open racism, but like almost every single day we are experiencing this.
It's very good that you made this question. If you taught me something, is that if you make a statement, you have to provide at least 1-2 arguments. It's a statement. But society is not like that, out of the sea bubble. Yeah? So it is true that in certain spheres, reasoning and building a community of dialogue is very valuable. Yeah? But there are other spaces which is not. Yeah. For example, in politics, yeah, I mean, CU teach you that politics is about having a nice chat over coffee, tea, yeah, debating with your colleagues. But then when you go out in real politics, it's a street fight, yeah, and of course you feel some kind of contradiction, yeah. So it gives you some skills, but yeah, we need also to put our feet on the street, yeah, with the communities, not to lose the roots of our communities, our people, yeah, because then we have to balance.
Also, when you go to, when you go to the community, the moment of you being perceived like whiter.
Exactly. But they are right in a way.
Can I just add something on this, because it's so interesting that you raised this question. I know how smart you are. I mean, I just added one close case, one big case in Gothenburg, and it was a drug case, which was a lot of drugs, different kind of drugs, and we were like 9 attorneys. 2 of the attorneys was non-Swedish, meaning they are not looking Swedish. Me and one guy. The other one was Swedish. And we are representing each client, and we have a massive investigation with approximately 9,000 pages to read and to prepare. And you can see, like, through court session, and we were for 3 weeks in the court, and how the non-Swedish lawyer worked compared to the Swedish lawyers, because we automatically feel that we were going into the court, that we perhaps are not on the same level. The judges will not see us in the same level as others. So we need to show more of us. We have the inner stress to all the time be so much better than the other colleagues who are lawyers. And this is the everyday life. I'm facing it all the time. And then I'm a lawyer, and I know, like, the judges have to equal respect us and how we representing our clients. But this inner stress and that we always be like, if my colleague with Swedish background asked 3 questions to one of the witnesses, I had to think, can I ask 1 question more, or from a different window? It's a competition in a way, just to make to show that I am good enough. I don't know, but that's what reflection on what you're saying.
So I didn't want to take the part when the challenges of the labor market question came in, but then now this question came, so I can give the part, right? And I can maybe share my reflections. Like, I think, we always say that, like, it's not written on our forehead the level of the education we achieved or the languages we speak when we are, just functioning in everyday life. accessing, like having RGPP or having access to higher education, having a CU degree, right, doesn't really exist in these everyday, but individually having these skills helps us to navigate more in life when it comes to career and stuff like that. But in everyday life, yeah, we do experience a lot of things. But I think what's important or what, and when it also involves emotions, it's really difficult to come up with arguments what we actually learn. This is how you do debate culture, right? But what helps me, or what I always try to focus on, is that raising voices for each others, or like showing solidarity and empathy with other oppressed groups, because we are not alone. There are other oppressed groups as well that they are facing the same struggles, or almost like still. So just showing solidarity, and being there for each other, I think, or being the, as we say, allies, or providing allyship to each other. I think that's something that can help us navigate through these, white spaces, or sometimes racist spaces. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there is a question here, just behind you first, and then in the back if we have time.
Can I ask?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so I'm so curious that how you would motivate or encourage, or to give encouragement to the Roma youth to apply to the RGPP, whether you would, yeah.
So is the question if we would recommend?
Yes.
How? In what terms? In what terms? Yeah.
And I want to still show that I was 2 times an ambassador of RGPP in Czechoslovakia. So I can tell. yeah, Czech and Slovak region. So I use the former name. I mean, it would be maybe better from the perspective of politics. Yeah, so I was 2 times an ambassador for RGPP for Czechia and Slovakia, and I tried to catch the attention of young Roma students about the program, and maybe it's my personal success that I helped two colleagues of mine, Tomáš Sarkozy and Dominika Pačová, who's they're already an absolvent of RGPP program. And the most important thing is to, of course, you are like explaining the whole process of application, what are the requirements. The most important thing is that you have to super openly and like super understandably tell to these youngsters that you will be there. You will be the giant support during the whole process, because very often the problem is to start the process, get all the required annexes, papers, materials. So if you see somebody who's like really interested about the program, then be his or her or its supervisor and lead the whole process, because very often this is the point where like why we haven't much more applicants, I guess.
Also, when it comes to the Nordic countries, the program didn't allow Nordic students to come for CU. So I was the first before my application. I didn't hear that we had someone from Nordic country who had applied for the program. So and after that we have another Swedish Roma who had done their program as well, and we try to market to our to the Roma from the student program, the Roma from the Södertörns University. When we have conferences, we always talk about the RGPP and that students can apply. And I think, as my colleague said, that if we have someone from Sweden, I try to, at least with that girl, when she was doing that, if you have any question, please reach out to me. I did a program, I can help you. So to be a bit of supervisor, I hope we will see more Roma students from Nordic countries also continue applying to the program.
We need to be
Just
quick, a
just
bit
one
quick.
sentence. So, yeah. So I also do recommend the program to everyone I know. But as I mentioned at the beginning, RGPP has a criteria of English knowledge, and not all of my friends have that. So I'm not saying I wanna have rap back, but I do wanna have rap back. So I do say that because that's super important. As I said, English language is a privilege. Knowing English is a privilege.